702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
And with that, we welcome our guest, Monsieur Abdou Samb, who is Senegalese engineer, mathematician, and European Commission advisor on digital transformation. He's also advising the C20 Civil Organizations 20. Remember last week we spoke about the B20 and there's a C20, and we also spoke about the M20, which was the Media 20. And now we will be focusing on the C20, the civil society. We've heard quite a lot about G20 Summit, and now he's joining us right now here in the studios. Mr. Abdou Samb, welcome to 702. Lovely having you with us. Welcome to South Africa. You good?
Oh, I'm good. Good morning, Thabo. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to your listener at home. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great stuff. I mean, I was reading your piece that you have penned about the importance of the G20 Summit in South Africa, and you are speaking about the role of the diaspora. Let's touch a little bit on that and connect the dots between the importance of the G20 Summit and the Africa and the diaspora. What is their responsibility as such?
African diaspora. When I travel all around the world, I can say how African diaspora is excelling in international institution. You know, any institution, even biggest company in the world, when you go there, you find African or someone originally from Africa, not in the leadership position, meaning that we have the skills, we have the competence, and we know how to do. And when the environment is favorable, when it's about meritocracy, the environment of meritocracy, African elite are not behind. They are in the leadership position. And Africa diaspora is key because the greatest strength of Africa, of course, is our people. But the greatest challenge of the continent is leadership. Of course, it's also our responsibility as African to hold to hold our leader accountable of the leadership.
Are we not doing enough of that as Africans? Are we not holding the leaders to account? Because we hear that a lot, that our leaders are letting us down on the continent. But recently, you would know, you are based in France and you're part of the diaspora, I'd like to assume. But there was an issue in Kenya where the young people stood up and rose against what they did not like. Here in South Africa, that happens. Do you feel that that's not enough, holding leaders to account?
I think we can do more than that. I deeply believe that in some country of Africa we have leaders, real leaders. Of course, in other countries we don't have leaders, we just have executive. But I believe that all those leaders in good faith, they just want to do their best when they come. And all of us, we need to be just make accountable of what we are doing every day. I'm sure you, Thabo, in the position you are, at the end of the day, you just have a meeting with the manager to just see how was your day, if you did well. Yes. And I guess it's our responsibility as African, because he's our continent. This continent owned to us, African. We could be able to just, at the end of the day, to sit with our leader and to ask them, what did you do for the interests of the people? It is the idea of democracy. And I guess we must call back this ideal of democracy. I want you to bear with me, Thabo, because I live in France since 30 years. You know, I speak French very well. French is my first language and Wolof is my second language. English is my third language, but I'm going to try my best to explain myself.
Sure. Most welcome. I speak le parler petit français. I speak very little French, so don't worry.
Okay. That's great. I guess it's our responsibility to just organize ourselves as, I can say, a third power, which is the civil society, which is with these youth, this diaspora, this woman, all those forces of the African, just to make our leader accountable every day, just to put pressure on them and ask them, what did you do for the interests of the country? What did you do for the interests of the continent? What did you do for the interests of the people?
Yeah.
And it will be never enough.
Yes.
It will be never enough.
I want you to explain to us now on civil society. What role can civil society play, and the meetings that civil society must have around the G20 Summit? Because you are suggesting that civil society can help to hold our leaders accountable. Yeah. We have seen some of those in South Africa, but on the G20 scale, how does it pan out? What have you guys been thinking about in that space of C20?
Oh, I was appointed 2 weeks ago as a senior advisor of the C20, and since few weeks I'm reading about this idea of civil society, because as many people, I didn't know much about this idea before I highlight it and try to understand what it's about. And it is about an organization of people with skills, with competence, working together in the ideal. And what the C20 is doing is really interesting, because they have some key thematics, starting from youth to women to environment, and they just want to come and in this agenda of the G20 with a paper to the leader, and to give the ideas they have for our continent. And this one is really key and is really important. I want to take just one part of this civil society which I'm part of. It is the diaspora. You are aware that in the IFC, which is the International Financial Corporation, which is part of the World Bank, is led by an African guy, which is Makhtar Diop from Senegal, my homeland. I'm really proud of my brother Makhtar, because so to have an African in that position, leading one of the most influential financing institutions in the world, is a pride for our continent. And he's doing well.
Yeah,
he's doing really well. You know, we need to just organize as a diaspora, all this elite of the diaspora. I'm speaking about the diaspora because I'm a member of the diaspora.
Yes.
This could be the same in every country, to organize ourselves and come with an agenda in this with some ideas, some insight, and just to share it with with the C20, because it is a platform that we can use to express ourselves in this biggest opportunity for our continent to just have in the soil of our continent for the first time 20 of the most powerful leader of the world.
Sure.
It's a bless, and we must seize it.
17 minutes after 10 o'clock, you're on 702 Thabo in for Clement. We're together till 12. Abdou Samb is my guest, and he advises the C20, which is a broader aspect of the G20 Summit that will be taking place in November, and we have been talking about this for quite some time. Civil society, it could be that you are from the civil society, but most importantly, it could be that you are from the African diaspora and you are looking at your continent, your people from afar. Could be that you are in France, you are in Russia, and wherever else, and you're part of the African diaspora, and you are thinking, what is my contribution to the continent as it hosts this very important event, and how do we leverage out of that, and how do I, as an African in the diaspora, contribute meaningfully to the advancement of my home? I'd love to hear from you and the challenges that are facing civil society as well. Feel free to call us on 011-883-0702. Alternatively, send us a voice note on 072-702-1702, 18 after 10.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
We are speaking about Africa capitalizing on the 2025 G20 Summit through its diaspora. My guest, Abdou Samb, is my guest joining me and reflecting on some of these issues. He had penned a piece about where Africa should go, especially Africa in the diaspora, in contributing effectively to to the advancement of the continent on the backdrop of the G20 Summit. Abdou, you are saying in your piece something that I found very interesting, that 30% of the world's critical minerals, from cobalt and lithium to graphite and manganese, essential for semiconductors, AI hardware, and electric vehicle batteries. Yet, we capture only 10% of the revenue exporting raw materials that power the US-China-Taiwan chip war. That, I think, speaks about the potential that we have that we are not using as the continent. How do we connect that with the diaspora to make sure that we leverage from that?
New AI. I want you to keep this word because it will be something really key in the following years and also for the future of the continent. New AI, like new African innovation. It's a concept that I'm working on and I'm promoting, and for me is the key. You are aware that the Silicon Valley is playing a key role in the world because of this ecosystem of innovation, which is really, in French we say fertile. The new AI is our opportunity, as African, to play a really key role in the future of our continent, and also to capture not 10%, but 100% of the wealth of our continent. What is about this idea of AI? The idea of AI is the perfect alchemy between human, environment, and technology. You are aware that in the innovation in general, people are, especially in the Western world, they are really focused in this technology. It's more technology. And all those African thinkers of the 20th century, they wrote a lot about the difference between European, Western people and African people. And the difference is here, and it's really key. This difference is that the Western people, they try to dominate the environment. And we can say it, and they are doing really well. But the difference, and why our continent is so wealthy and so beautiful, because African people, they consider themselves as part of the environment. And this one what must drive a paradigm switch and bring in this idea of an innovation, the environment. And I guess Africa, especially South Africa, especially Johannesburg and South Africa, just allow me to open this window for a few seconds about your beautiful country. I do business here since some times. And when I'm in South Africa as a businessman, I don't feel that I'm doing business in Africa. I just feel that I'm doing business in the world, because this country is open to the world. And I guess what we must do as African is just to join our forces to make in Africa the epicenter of the new African innovation. And we can do it from here.
Are we
in
not
South
doing
Africa.
that right now?
I don't think so. I've read a lot. I did some research, and I didn't find this idea of this paradigm of approaching innovation, not from the technology side, but from these three. I think there is a really interesting example, and this example is interesting because we are leading the world in this technology, which is the mobile payment, which is the African technology.
Yes.
Yeah. This idea of this technology came from the fact that the banking system is not really developed in our continent, but people need to exchange, to interact. But all African people have a phone, and they found a way to use phone to make payment. And now we are just the number one in the world on that, and it's expanding, meaning that we can just come with a new approach. And with this new AI, I guess I truly believe that we can just find a way to use our environment, to use the technology, to use also our skills, especially this use, to build a sustainable model, that we will be the leader in the world.
How do we present that? How do we package that? The ideas that you've spoken about, that we need to work together and bring the skills from outside the continent to propel the continent forward for purposes of Africa to thrive. How do we package that for the G20 Summit, practically speaking, when all eyes are on the African soil in South Africa, and sell it to the world?
Collaboration. You are aware that I am advisor in the European Commission in terms of innovation policies. And what I see and what this environment is so interesting, because they are doing well in terms of job creating, in terms of innovation, in terms of startup.
Yeah.
Because this approach of collaborative project. And I guess we just think about a model of a Pan-African collaborative project. Just identify some key sectors.
Yeah.
The first one could be agriculture. The second one would be this fin in insurance tech.
Yeah.
There is many of them.
Yeah.
And just we just make a kind of call for proposal and make some African startups from different countries, minimum 4 countries.
Let me ask you this before we say goodbye, because we're going to run out of time in the next 2 minutes. Do you think, having worked where you are working as an advisor of the European Union and various other international spots that you occupy, does the international world take Africa seriously?
It's a very interesting question. It's a very, very interesting question. Let me put it this way. Is those people see Africa has a land of opportunities where they just come and take and leave? Or maybe, or if they take it seriously, I think they must take us seriously. Because in 2015, we will be the largest population of the world.
Large, but we can't exploit the opportunities that you've mentioned of cobalt, of lithium. They coming and taking them and reselling them to us as finished products. We cannot beneficiate as we ought to. And it's 2025. We've been having the same arguments. Is Africa's destiny to be just the consumer as opposed to be the producer to the world?
It's our responsibility as an elite, to you, to me, to all those Africans, to change this paradigm. We are going to change. We must change this. We must change and switch from consumer to producer. You know, we just have the market. We need no one else.
Yeah.
We just can do it. It's our responsibility to change these things, to switch from the consumer to the producer.
Sure.
And I do believe that we can make it.
Yeah. How important, lastly, is it for Africans in the diaspora, having amassed some investments and some resources internationally, to come back and plant and use those resources and plant them back on the continent? In 30 seconds, how do we do that?
I think all Africans just want to come back in the continent.
Yeah.
And I've set up a foundation, Abdou Samb Foundation. One of the key role of the foundation is just to work in the system, to promote the system, will make the environment more favorable for African diaspora to come back in the continent and to give back what and share what they've learned all around the world.
Yeah. Abdou, we have to leave it at that. Really appreciate your time. We should talk again in the future and give it more time. Abdou Samb is my guest, and he advises the European European Commission, and is also an advisor of the C20, which is part of the broader G20 Summit.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.